Masking is the process of taking one object and using it to determine which areas of a second object are visible. This is really easy to do in Flash, and you can make some exceptionally cool effects with it. Basically, masking uses layers to create the effect. We create a masking layer, and everything on that layer will be part of the mask. We then set one or more layers to be masked by that layer. The visibility of everything on those layers will be influenced by the contents of the mask layer. At the end of our work with masking, we're going to end up with a file that I've included with your work files. It's called masking.fla, and you can go ahead and open that if you'd like to see what we're going to end up with, or if you run into trouble along the way. Okay, let's start off by creating a new layer, grabbing a drawing tool, like the rectangle tool, and drawing a shape. We'll make this basic to start with, and then we'll get a bit more creative later on. Now make another new layer. Use the rectangle tool again to draw a new shape. It really doesn't matter what color you use for this one, as it's going to be the mask itself and will never be displayed in the exported movie. I actually like to use a really bright garish color, especially when I'm creating a complex document and I want the mask to remind me what it is in case I forget. Now pop up the context menu for the new layer by right-clicking or control-clicking on a Mac and choose Mask. Now a few things happen. First, the only thing we can see on the stage now is the portion of the first shape that we drew that is overlapped by the second shape. Also, the second shape has disappeared. So the second shape is being used to mask the first one. Looking up in the Layers area of the timeline, the appearance has changed as well. Both layers have new icons. The top one has a mask icon, and the bottom one has a masked icon. Also, both layers have been locked. Now, because these layers are locked, of course, we can't edit their contents until we unlock them. When we do, Flash releases the masking and we can make changes. Once you've made your changes, you can lock the layers again to display the masking results. But you don't have to do this if you don't want to. When you export your Flash content, the mask will be automatically applied anyway. So if you like, you can leave your masks visible during the authoring and export process. Okay, now for a little note about multiple masks. You can use more than one mask in a timeline, but only one mask can be applied to a particular layer. To demonstrate, let's do all of this again. Create a new layer, draw a shape, and I'll make this one a different color. Add another new layer, and draw another shape again. Again, I'm going to use a garish bright red for this. Pop up the context menu for the top layer and choose Mask. Now we have two sets of mask layers. The most important thing to remember is that mask assemblies operate in sets. Here's one set, and here's the other. For each set, there is only one mask layer and one or more masked layers. And to finish up this lesson, let's have a look at how we can add or remove masked layers and revert a layer back from masking. First off, let's add a masked layer. You can either select a layer that's masked already and hit New Layer, or you can drag a layer into the mask assembly. To take a layer out, drag it out and above the mask. Return it by simply dragging it back in. Now you may notice that when I drag this layer back in, our mask is displayed, and that's because one of the layers in the mask set is unlocked. Every layer in the set has to be locked for the masking to be shown. Now you can also go to the context menu for a layer, choose Properties, and make changes here. You can set a layer to be normal or masked, and you can also release a mask layer. And that's it for our lesson on masking basics. In the next one, we're going to take this a little bit further. So let's move on.